Hello students, today we will learn about Internet and email. Internet is one of the best technologies gifted to mankind. It has brought the entire world closer. Internet stands for International Network. It is the largest computer network in the world, connecting millions of computers. A network is a group of two or more computer systems linked together to form a global network. These computers are connected through telephone wires, modem, satellite links, or other means, enabling them to share information amongst each other. The invention of Internet has transformed our living. It has revolutionized the whole world and made computers the most effective communication tool. Communication has given rapid growth to business worldwide. Internet is a constantly evolving tool that not only contains huge variety of information but also provides new ways of interacting and connecting with people. Let's talk about various uses of Internet now. News and information. Internet provides facility to read different newspapers online and get the information regarding various topics of your interest, such as politics, sports, education, etc. It also keeps us updated with current events. Art and entertainment. Using Internet, one can watch movies, listen to songs, play games and puzzles, read jokes, stories and books online. Internet also allows us to download and purchase various such software. Online shopping. We can purchase various items like books, clothes, electronic goods, etc. from different e-shops around the world without actually going there. Mailing letters. Electronic mail is the most popular feature of the Internet. It allows us to send and receive messages in real time. We can also attach pictures, videos and sounds to an email. Health and fitness. With Internet, one can find information on health and fitness. One can also search for remedies and precautions for different diseases. Tourism and travel. Internet provides facility for online booking of hotels, railway tickets, air tickets, etc. all over the world and round the clock. Chatting. This feature allows us to exchange text messages instantly with another person on the Internet. Banking operations. Using Internet or e-banking services, one can perform all banking operations from anywhere without visiting the bank. Video conferencing. Through video conferencing, you can communicate with other person both verbally and visually, even from the locations that are geographically apart. For video conferencing, the communicating parties need to have web cameras. Let us learn various requirements for connecting to Internet now. To connect your computer with Internet, you need a modem, a telephone line, and an Internet connection. Modem. Modem stands for modulator demodulator. It is a device that allows a computer to send or receive information through telephone lines by converting digital data into an analog signal used on telephone lines. Modulator converts digital information of a computer to analog mode at transmitting end, and demodulator further converts back the analog signals to digital at receiving end. Modems can be classified as: internal modem is a device that is already installed in the computer. It is in the form of a card that is inserted into one of the slots on the main board. External modem is a modem that is installed outside the CPU. It is in the form of a box that is normally connected to USB port of a computer. This type of modem has indicator lights that display the status of modem. The speed of a modem is measured in BPS and kbps, kilobits per second. Although a modem can have a maximum speed of 56 kbps, but if the telephone line quality is not optimal, you may not get the desired outcome. PC card modem is specifically designed for laptops and handheld computers. It is similar to the size of a credit card and fits into the PC card slot on notebook and handheld computers. So no cable is required other than the telephone line connection. One can remove this modem when it is not needed. Except for its size, PC card modem is like the combination of external and internal modems. This card is powered by the computer. Students, note that nowadays it is not essential to have telephone lines for setting the Internet connection. It can be replaced by a wireless router, which is connected to the modem. The wireless router allows you to connect your internet connection with any wireless device such as a laptop, smartphone or iPad within home network. It takes the information from the modem and delivers it to your computer. Let me share a fact with you. USB, Universal Serial Bus Port, is a small rectangular port on the CPU used to attach all kinds of devices such as mouse, keyboard, printer, digital camera, modem, etc. to the computer. It can be used to transfer data and can also act as power supply for devices such as phones, cameras connected to it. Telephone line. A telephone line is a medium that is used to connect the computer to an internet service provider, ISP. Internet connection. An internet connection is a service provided by an internet service provider, ISP, in exchange of a fee. You will not be able to access internet unless you subscribe for a connection with an ISP. Some of the most popular ISPs are BSNL, Airtel, Idea Cellular, Reliance, Sifi, Vodafone. Let us learn about various types of internet connection now. Several types of internet connections exist that enable us to connect to the internet. Dial-up connection. Dial-up connection requires users to link their phone line to a computer in order to access the internet. This particular type of connection does not allow users to make or receive phone calls through their home phone service while using the internet. It is a slow connection. Broadband connection. As the term suggests, this connection uses wide bandwidth, which provides high-speed internet access through various transmission mediums. It is significantly faster than a dial-up connection. Using broadband, you can share videos, download music, programs, or photos within no time. Unlike a dial-up connection, a broadband connection does not tie up your phone line, so you are free to make and receive calls while online. Cable TV connection. This type of connection is provided through cable TV lines. It uses a cable modem which provides extremely fast access to the internet. Satellite. In areas where broadband facility is not yet available, satellite connections are used. This requires a satellite dish to be installed in order to connect to the satellite. DSL, Digital Subscriber Line. A DSL uses two-wire copper telephone line. It allows you to make calls even when you are connected to the internet. It is a form of broadband connection where you are required to pay a monthly fee to an ISP for accessing the internet. Wireless. Wireless connection makes use of radio frequency to connect to the internet and offers great speed. It can be accessed from any location that comes under the network coverage area. It requires a Wi-Fi modem to be connected to your computer. Mobile Internet. Mobile Internet allows a user to access Internet over a smartphone using the network provided by the phone service provider. This technology provides high-speed wireless Internet access. The speed generally varies between 2G, 3G and 4G. Hotspots. Hotspots are sites that provide wireless Internet access over short distances, approximately 20 meters. It uses Wi-Fi technology and allows the users to connect to the internet through radio waves. Hotspots can be phone-based, commercial, or free to the public and can be found at places such as airports, universities, cafes, and hotels. Now let us learn how to browse the internet and use links. Exploring the World Wide Web by following one link to another without a planned search strategy is called browsing or surfing the internet. A link can be a highlighted text, a button, or an image. When we move the cursor over a link, the cursor changes to hand. Clicking the link takes us to a web page in the website or to a different website. Students know that each website has a main page. When you visit any site, the first page that opens is called the home page. Let me describe search engines now. What do you do if you want to find a particular chapter in a book? You see the index, find out the page number, and then directly open that page. Similarly, to look for any information on internet, search engines can be used. A search engine is software that searches various web pages on the World Wide Web for particular information. It requires a user to enter a keyword related to the information to be searched and displays the search results as a list of links to the pages on which the keywords are found. Examples of search engine are Google, www.google.com, Bing, www.bing.com, Yahoo, www.yahoo.com. Let me share a few interesting facts. Jerry Yang and David Filo are the founders of www.yahoo.com. Yahoo is an American computer service company founded on March 2, 1995. Okay, let us learn how to find information on search engine now. Connect to the internet and use the desired browser. Open any search engine, example Google. Type a few keywords related to the information you want to search. For example, Cartoon Network, and click on the search button. It will display a list of websites which have the relevant information. Read the provided information and click on the link you consider the most appropriate. The website will open. Let me share a few interesting facts. Also, Paul Buchheit created Gmail and it is owned by Google. Let me tell you about email feature. Email stands for electronic mail. It is a facility on the internet to send and receive messages anywhere around the world in real time. It works like conventional correspondence, but it is instant and convenient. The best part of email is that a single mail can be sent to a number of persons at a time. We can attach photos, videos, or important data along with a message. These extra files are called attachments. Let me share some interesting facts with you. The first ever email was sent by Raymond Samuel Tomlinson in 1971. Okay students, let us know more. Hotmail was one of the popular email sites. It does not exist anymore and all the Hotmail accounts have been transferred to Outlook.com. However, one can still use one's existing Hotmail.com address to access the email account. Now, let us learn about email account. In order to use the email facility on the internet, first we have to create a personal email account. We have to select a username, email address and provide a secret code, password along with our particulars like name, address, date of birth, etc. There are many websites on the internet which provide us with the facility of free email accounts. The popular sites are www.gmail.com, www.yahoo.co.in and www.rediffmail.com. Let me describe email address now. An email address consists of a username and a domain name. A username is the name of a person's account by which the server identifies him on the website. Whereas a domain name is a unique name that identifies a website on the web. Whenever we create an email account, we get an email address on which people send their mails. Every email account has a unique email address, which means no two individuals in the world can have the same email address. Now let us learn create an email account. Let us understand how to create an email account and get your email address. Connect to the internet. Open the website www.gmail.com. Click on the Create Account link and proceed to the next page. A registration form will appear. Fill the registration form, choose a login name and password. Accept the agreement. An email account gets created if all the entries have been filled properly. Okay students, let us know more. The strong password consists of at least 8 characters that are a combination of letters in both uppercase and lowercase, numbers and special symbols as allowed. After creating an email account, it can be used to send and receive emails. To use the email account, one must log in with a username and password. The login or sign-in system of different mail accounts may differ, but they all have the identical features. Inbox. It displays information about all the received mails. Each message header displays the sender name, subject line, time and date when the mail is received, and sometimes the size of the message too. To read any mail, click on it. The mail will be displayed in a new window. Compose or write mail. It will open a new window with the following components. 2. Here we can type the email address of the person to whom we want to send the email. CC. CC stands for carbon copy. In this field, one can specify the addresses of the persons to whom one wants to send a copy of the mail. The email addresses mentioned in this field are visible to all the recipients of the mail. BCC. BCC stands for blind carbon copy. It is also used to send copy of the mail to several people, but the email addresses mentioned in this field are not visible to the recipients of the mail. Subject. It is a brief description of the mail which gives to the recipients an idea about the message. Message. You can type message just like a normal letter with greetings, one or more paragraphs, and your name at the bottom. You can also format the text using the available features. Okay, let me quickly tell you how to send an email. After composing an email, click on the send button. The mail will be sent to its recipients. Let us learn how to attach a file now. Email provides a facility to attach files for high-speed delivery anywhere in the world. Attaching a file to an email is an easy way to send important documents or files, which can be photographs, videos, music, letters, or text. To attach a file to an email, follow these steps. Click on the Attach a File icon on the toolbar at the bottom of the Compose window. The Open dialog box will appear. Browse through your files and select the file you would like to attach. Click on the Open button. The file gets attached to your mail. Now click on the Send button. Always remember, you cannot send executable files or messages larger than 25 MB as an attachment. Nowadays, Internet provides some emerging technologies that enable us to transfer files beyond 25 MB. Some of the most popular services are given below. WeTransfer. WeTransfer is a free online file transfer service that enables you to send files up to 2 GB from one system to another. Both the sender and the recipients are required to have an email address to transfer the file. The recipients receive the file through mail. Follow the given steps to transfer the file. Open the link www.wetransfer.com. Click on the Add Files button and select the files from the Open dialog box. Add the recipient's email address in the Friends email text box. Add your email address in your email text box. Type a message in the message text box if required. Click on the Transfer button. The recipients will receive a mail containing the files which can be easily downloaded. SendSpace. SendSpace is another file transfer service that helps us to share large files up to 300 MB free of cost. Though registration is not required, but as a registered user, you can avail its other features along with loading, like tracking the files, editing the files, etc. Follow the given steps. Open the website www.sendspace.com. If you want to send a file, click on the Browse button. An open dialog box appears. Either select the file and click on Open button or drag and drop the desired file at the required place. Enter both the sender's and receiver's email address in the provided space and click on the Upload button. The file will be sent through email as a link which can be downloaded by the recipients. Now let us learn about replying and forwarding email. The reply option is displayed when we open any mail. It is used to reply to a received email. Click on the Reply button, type in the text, and then click on the Send button. The Forward option is used to send any received mail to other email addresses. Students note that when you receive an email with an attachment, your inbox summary line usually indicates this with a paperclip icon on the right. After opening the message, we can click on the attachments icon. Okay, let us learn about adding a signature to a mail. A signature is a bit of personalized text such as contact information or a favorite quote that is automatically inserted at the bottom of every email you send. To create a signature, follow these steps. Click on the settings icon in the upper right corner of the window and select the settings option. Locate the signature section and enter your signature text in the box next to the signature field. Click on the Save Changes tab. Now let us learn how to manage contacts. Okay, let us quickly learn about address book. Once we start using email, our contact list also grows gradually and it is beyond the capacity of a person to remember the email address of each contact. Fortunately, every email program provides an address book where we can store the email addresses. To add a contact, follow the steps. Click on the Google Apps icon present on the top right side of the window. From the drop-down menu, select Contacts. Contact Preview window appears. Click on the Add New Contact button present at the bottom right corner of this window. The Create Contact window will appear. Add contact information in the respective fields of this form and click on the Save button. Let me tell you about groups now. We can create groups wherein we can club and store similar type of contacts. Example, family with email addresses of family members, friends with email addresses of friends, office with email addresses of office colleagues, etc. Creating groups of email contact is very easy and interesting. Click on the Contacts option from the Google app drop-down menu. Contact Preview window appears. In the left pane, click on the Labels option and select Create Label from the drop-down menu. A Create Label dialog box appears. Enter the new group name in the provided space. Click on OK. You will find the new group added in the left pane. To add contacts in that group, click on the Add New Contact button. Once a group is formed, you can easily send mails and share documents in it with multiple people at the same time. Let me quickly tell you how to log out or sign out. Once you have finished reading or sending the emails, click on the Sign Out button. This option brings you out from your email account. It is a good practice and quite important to sign out of your email account from the security perspective. If you are always signed in, any miscreant can interfere with your account settings and can also send abusive messages to the members of your contact list in your name, thus misleading the recipients. This can land you in deep trouble. Okay students, let us take a recap of this chapter. Internet is the largest computer network in the world, connecting millions of computers. Links are the highlighted text, buttons or images in a website. Google, Bing and Yahoo are the commonly used search engines. Email is a facility on the internet to send and receive messages anywhere around the world in real time. WeTransfer is a free online file transfer service that enables you to send files up to 2 GB from one system to another. SendSpace is a file transfer service that helps us to share large files up to 300 MB with others free of cost.